Family, the track we're about to interact with right now was brought to my attention via a donation from one of our subscribers. Now, if you want to recommend a song, the link to the PayPal is going to be in the description below because, of course, YouTube yanks 30% of super chats. Guys, I appreciate, as always, your open, curious attention. Back to the video. Fam, welcome to the channel. The one that we're about to interact with right now came to me courtesy of The Art of Work. You know, Maynard did the Art of Work series. It's like, I think, a 4-part series. All 4 of my reactions to that series should be out by now. If not, somebody kind of remind me, please. And, you know, a lot of the soundtrack, like in the background, I was asking during my reaction, like, what is this music in the background of The Art of Work? And a lot of you just responded, this is Puscifer music. And I'm like, yo, I really have to interact with more Puscifer music on here. And then someone let me know via PayPal. Thank you so much, all of the patrons, that I should check out the quiet parts. So without any further ado, we're going into Puscifer right now, the quiet parts. Follow me, family, as we venture into this journey. Please cook, sir.
Listen, they said it before, loud as a whale, clear as a siren, blunt as a cannonball. Listen, to say it again, sharp as a promise, deep as a devil, all while you were.
You know, the theme, the thread, and I'll continue to say this, the theme with Maynard, whatever band he's in, whatever music, group he's performing with or writing for, I know he does a lot of that, it's always going to be a mystery what he's talking about. It's going to give you little clues, right? He said listen twice, though after he says listen, he's saying whoever you're listening to is being clear enough so that you should hear it. So why is he telling you to listen if it's being said so loud in the first place? I'm going to go back a couple bars. I'm going to let him cook.
They said, listen, they said it before, loud as a whale.
So you hear it, listen, they said it before. Why is he telling you to listen if this is the second time they've said it and they're saying it loudly? Are you not paying attention? Right? Is something that we're not paying attention to that should be obvious, that should be right under our noses, right?
Clear as a siren, blunt as a cannonball. Listen, to say it again, sharp as a promise, deep as a devil, all while you were sleeping. The power poisons.
All while you were sleeping. Well aware that power poisons. Who can sleep through a cannonball? Who can sleep through a siren? You know, maybe he's saying like you don't want to understand the truth. It's a truth that you're hiding from. So he's essentially saying you have your fingers in your ears, right? Because the sound is very loud. It's loud enough that, you know, the average person is going to wake up, I guess. But he's like, you know, you're sleeping through the sounds of cannonballs. Right? That there's something that you're willfully ignorant about, that you're not paying attention to on purpose. Cook, please.
All while you were sleeping. Well aware, the power poisons and absolute consumes. Too late, they told
Yo, they told you their name, said just who they were. You should have believed them. That's really difficult, right? Because, you know, a lot of times we feel like we can change people. We feel like, look, I love them so much, I'm going to change them. You know, or I respect them so much that I'm willing to forgive, you know, this multitude of errors, even if those errors are systematic, even if they keep recurring, right? They told you their name, told you who they were, and you didn't believe them, right? Or maybe that you believed that they would change as a result of you. Now I got to go back to that transit. That was fire. Guys, is it just me, or does Puscifer have a funkier sound? You know what I'm saying? I like the kind of, it's almost like a 70s hippie thing mixed with like a new generational funkadelic sound that I appreciate it. You know, sometimes it's what you grew up with. Like your ears just open differently to a particular kind of sound, and I think Puscifer might be that sound that I'm looking for.
Zealots are tugging the strings, feeding the id and starving the ego, choking the light right out soon.
I'm gonna need to hear that again. Zealots are tugging the strings.
Tugging the strings,
Yeah.
feeding the id and
Feeding the id.
starving the ego.
So is this the Freudian, the id, the ego, and the superego? And I forget what all of those terms exactly mean. I think that the id is kind of the devil in you. Just I guess the sneaky side that kind of wants to use others as a means to some end as opposed to an end to themselves. Maybe that, you know, undercomplicates the concept of the id. But then the ego is kind of your self-image, right? And then the super ego is like your highest ideal, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or in the the comment section. Thank you.
Starving the ego, choking the light right out soon as.
So I need to really, I apologize for continuing to stop it. I need to, zealots are tugging the strings, feeding the id. Zealots feed the id. I'm wondering about that. And zealots starve the ego? I wonder how zealots are starving the ego. That's not how I conceptualize a zealot.
The quiet parts where trumpets head and bellowed. We should have listened and shored up to keep from.
Guys, in that little Selah moment, I'm just thinking that Maynard has a freaking wild life. Like, imagine him driving around, like, playing this, right? Just the beat, and just thinking, I'm like, where do I take this? What am I thinking about? Like, what are we, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's his process or whatever, but working with 3 bands that, like, you know, channel kind of different energies and that he can speak a different message through, it's just dope that he's manifested that life for himself. And listen, even though Maynard may not be a, Christian, he may not be a Muslim, I consider Maynard my fellow mystic. And when he says they told you their name, some of you might think that, well, who cares what their name is, right? But in biblical terms, in a lot of the ancient writings, your name is who you are. Remember, when Jacob was wrestling with God, God said to Jacob, what is your name? And Jacob had to say, my name is Jacob. The name Jacob meant heel grabber, right? Someone who takes advantage, right? That was what the name Jacob meant. Something like dirty, sneaky thief. And then Jacob asked God, what is your name? And God said, why do you ask me my name? End of scene, right? I can't be encapsulated. You can't understand me. So when Maynard says they told you their name, it's not a naive oh, his name is Brian. How was I supposed to know anything based off that? He's taking you back to this ancient tradition of telling you their name is telling you who they are, right? They told you their name. They've expressed themselves. They've introduced themselves in a way that you should have kind of caught the signal, right? You should have been a bit more sensitive and not, putting your fingers in your ears, kind of ignoring the warning signs.
Should've believed them.
You should have believed them.
Yeah, son, they said it before, loud as a whale, clear as a siren, blunt as a cannonball. Soon as
Yo, I freaking dig that sound, buddy. What are we talking about? Listen to me. Hear me out, please. And don't don't come after me. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I like Puscifer's sound more than I like the sound of any of the other bands. With an exception of Danny on the drums when he decides to go crazy. I think, if Puscifer kind of gave me that, in The Art of Work, if they were the majority of that soundtrack, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with, going down the rabbit hole of Puscifer. Please put in the comments what the next track should be.
clear as a siren, blunt as a cannonball. Soon as the quiet parts where trumpets head and bellow, we should have listened and shored up to keep from.
As soon as the quiet parts were trumpeted, the quiet parts, the parts that you compartmentalize, the parts that you submerge when everything is calm, right? When those parts start to bubble up, you should listen. Don't ignore what person that is. I mean, have you seen someone get completely out of character when they are challenged? Don't ignore that. Don't ignore that. I've had friends who, they are, not friends, I'm going to say acquaintances, right? Who, I meet them and they're just, incredible people. It's like, oh, you were having a great time. We're here at this restaurant or whatever. And we're just laughing about, but then, when the waiter makes a little mistake, they just really kind of tense up. You ever met those people who was like, whoa, you turned into something kind of weird just then, right? Maynard is saying, don't be so quick to put that away. Notice that this person has responded to a situation all of us go through by letting this kind of dog out that, maybe it's wise of us to really listen when they're shouting that out. See, look. You know what I want to do? I'm doing the Baloo bounce right now. You know what I really want to do? I want I don't think you guys know quite how baked I would be if I was at a Puscifer concert. I guess I don't think you guys can fully appreciate how smashed I would be. You know what I mean? I might be on the floor somewhere. I might be in a corner somewhere, climbing up the wall. I'm going to be lit at the Puscifer show. I'm going to need to figure out where they're going to be. They've probably been to Seattle before. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm going to have to make that trip out there. Continue, please. You know what's odd? You know what's really odd about that one? What struck me as odd about that song, especially there at the end, is like I'm dancing and I'm feeling what they're doing with the music because I just love that. I don't know why. I love that kind of funky psychedelic sound and I just kind of want to dance to it. But at the same time, the lyrics are not a celebration. What am I talking about? Maybe the lyrics are a celebration because it is a Tool at the end of the day. Even though it's not a Tool song, whenever Maynard writes a song, he's giving you a tool. He's saying, here, use this in your real life, right? When people say the quiet parts out loud, right? The part that they want to suppress in order to get you to be their friend or get you to be their girlfriend or get you to marry them or get you to date them. The ugly parts that they suppress, right? When anxiety hits, as it inevitably will, because we're humans, or when they run into a piece of change, when they want to run into some money, right? When you see the quiet part start to get loud, notice it and realize this is a part of the package, right? Don't just ignore it, hoping that you can change it or make it go away. That is a tool. And it's just interesting that kind of dark tool was put over such a beautiful kind of dancing vibe. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Sorry to overtalk.